All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and get started. Just as an FYI, for those of you getting logged in, I'm giving you permissions to mute and unmute yourself. So just be aware of that. We really want this to be an interactive session. So if you have questions, absolutely feel free to unmute yourself and jump in. We'll also have Christian and myself in the webinar chat helping to field and answer questions. So really it's whatever you prefer, more comfortable with. So welcome everyone to the 5th installment of our 6-part webinar series called TGIF, or thank goodness it's Fortinet. We're going to be hosting a new topic on all things Fortinet every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time or 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Today we're covering FortiCloud Part Deux, and we'll also be covering last week's demo session along with today's demo, since we weren't able to get to it last week. In case anyone's thinking or about to ask, I will be recording today's session, and I'll be sending a link to the recording afterwards to everyone who's registered for today's session. So we encourage you to share that with your team. So just for a quick introduction, my name is Dana Mead. I am part of the new exclusive networks team here out of Miami. My focus is specifically business development in the SMB space. Just a few quick housekeeping items before we get started. Again, take a moment to check your microphone. If you're not currently on mute, please do so now. We want to try to avoid any distracting background noises that may pop up as we go through the info today. But again, questions or comments, please feel free to jump into the conversation. David and I really like it when people join in the conversation. So let's take a look at the poll. Thanks to everyone for taking part of that. We like to kind of know who our audience is. Let's take a look at the results. Oh, we've got quite a few people that have been Fortinet partner for some time. We got a few new people, so that's good. This information is relevant to everyone, no matter how long a Fortinet partner you've been. So that's good. And we got a nice mix and sprinkling of authorized silver, gold, and platinum. So that's excellent. Most people hear about this through email, some through a colleague. That's great. We definitely encourage you guys to share our TGIF sessions with anyone who might be able to get some valuable information out of it. Our trivia question, very interesting. Actually, most of you got this correctly. Sweden has been a completely neutral country since 1814, which is pretty cool. If only we could all be like that. All right, cool. So thank you so much for taking part in that. I'll have actually another poll at the end of today's session. We really love to get your feedback. I want to make your time spent with us as valuable as possible. So I'll be looking for your feedback and also some ideas on some future content you would like us to see, you would like us to cover in TGIF. So if you can stay on for a couple minutes to take part in that, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so allow me to introduce our presenter today, David Yang. He is our Senior Director of Support and Services. David's been with Exclusive Networks, or formerly known as FineTech, for over 8 years. And before joining Exclusive Networks as Support and Services, David's held various positions such as application developer, software QA, information technology, and systems engineer. So David brings a wealth of experience and knowledge to the table today. So David, I'll go ahead and pass the mic over to you.
Thank you, Dana. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone, and thanks again for your attending our TGIF webinar. Today, we're going to spend a few minutes on the slides, as short as possible, and hopefully we're going to spend a lot more time on the FortiGate and FortiCloud demo. Hopefully we can get a little bit more technical, although it's not very deep enough. And we definitely plan for the future to have more technical webinar. So your feedback at the end of a session will be very important to us. So let's go ahead and get started.
Actually, let me jump in. We're getting some background noise. So if you guys can take a look and see if your microphone is mute, just or unmute, take a second to mute that so it's not distracting for everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dana. So today's agenda, we're going to talk briefly about what and who Exclusive is, and we're going to talk a little bit about cloud management, which we had some information talk about last week. Just my apology to everyone that if you attended, because there's an upgrade on the FortiCloud, so the demo got cut off. And then we're going to talk straight into the Fortigate and FortiAP Cloud and do the demos. So exclusive network, we're a global value distributor. Value means we provide not just the box, not just the products, not just the software or hardware, we also provide services. We're going to talk a little bit more about service later. And we're a global company. Exclusive network was grown from Europe and gradually moving to Asia Pacific. And then last year, they acquired FineTech, so their presence almost everywhere. And we focus on cyber and cloud technologies. So all the cyber technology product that currently you're familiar with, we pretty much all carry, and they are definitely the best of breed. And Fortinet is one of them that always help us to grow and always the customer acquired. We're 100% channel. Everything we deal with, we only deal with reseller partners like you. And we don't deal with the end user directly unless the partner asks us to work with them, but we're always representing the partners. We also have a global deal logistics center, which is if you have any deployment or anything you need to ship or need to deploy into the global worldwide, we can help you with that. We have very experienced experts in our global desk to help you to minimize the risk and minimize the process. We are full function support and training services. Let me tell you a little bit more about that. So the support services, pre and post sale support, you guys pretty much know already. We also provide the Fortigate migration, Jumpstart, and staging service. I'll talk a little bit about Jumpstart and staging later. Migration is basically if you have any Fortigate older model, or even you have any other vendors, or maybe just a router, they want your customer or you want to upgrade or to move into the Fortigate, will help you to do the migration conversion. We also provide vulnerability testing that's using one of our vendors' product to help you or you help your customer to do vulnerability testing. It's a simulation to make sure their internal network has no vulnerability point. We do simulation on the vulnerability testing on the OS or the network devices and such that. We also are Fortinet's ATC authorized training center. We use third-party training facility to provide the NSE certificate training. The third-party training facility they only do training. They don't do any resales, only product sales at all. So it's definitely a good thing for you to partner with because they won't be your competitors at all. We also, as exclusive network ourselves, we provide cloud competency training. Clouds become very popular nowadays. We definitely think the industry or the market needs understanding, a deeper understanding of clouds. So we provide that cloud competency training. It's a certified trainer we have by a company called Architectura. They are based in Vancouver. They provide many of the training services there. If you have interest, you definitely can contact us and we can discuss a little bit further. I talk a little bit faster, because I want to spend a little bit more time on demo. So if you guys have any question, please either do a Q&A or just go ahead, unmute yourself, or just have send a question to panelists, and Dana, Christian will definitely help us. I'm going to just move into the service I just mentioned earlier, the Jumpstart and staging services. Jumpstart basically, what we do is we help you if you purchase any Fortinet products. We'll help you to deploy easily. Basically, we can do the configuration. We understand your requirement, and then we set a configuration. We discuss with you or your customer to understand better, and we provide our suggestion. And then we do the configuration for you and doing the shipping to the whatever site you want to be. And we do a quick deploy, and also we can remote login to fine tune, at least initially, to fine tune the setup to make sure everything's work and everything's up to the requirement. The staging service is a little bit more expanding from the Jumpstart. So staging service, basically, we can, if you have, let's say, a large deployment or multiple sites, what we can do is we can help you to understand what's necessary to be done. So standard of operation procedure is really the one that we can co-authorize, and then to understand your customer requirement, to set it up, and then we provide you a first article, meaning that we'll probably set up the first unit, and you or your customer can deploy to make sure it works as required. And then afterward, we can help you to inventory all the units in our warehouse, and we do inventory management for you. And then whenever your customer or you need to ship to the customer site, and we can configure according to the SOP and set it up, and also do the log of all the configuration changes that you want to make. Then we package and ship to your customer site. We have done that for many of our large customers. One of them is called Messagy. They are actually named as the MSSP of the year for Fortinet. We'll talk about this a little bit later. And we also have done a large deployment for UPS in the United States. What we did is we configure each of the Fortigate devices and ship to each of the UPS station. And then the UPS themselves do the management. The logistics probably the most tedious work our customer or partner we encounter when doing this kind of large deployment. We have the expertise here, and we can help you to do the logistics. Again, any question, feel free to ask. Right, so we're gonna jump right into the cloud management. Like I mentioned earlier, cloud becomes a very popular and very necessary for a lot of companies. There's a different needs why we want to move on the cloud, and especially because the cloud technologies are already mature enough, such as a virtual machine, such as a clustering, mature enough that we can deploy the cloud in the cloud data center without any problem. So there's a lot of benefits of doing the clouds. There's a business side of an advantage that we have, also costs associated the advantage that using the cloud. So if you look at a cloud management, really there's no limitation. That's one of the elements of clouds, that you can access the cloud anywhere, anytime, from pretty much any devices, using pretty much any browser at this moment. So that's no limitation, and any browser work. And also the setup, basically, because it's cloud, so you may just pay the license fee to access the cloud management, sometimes even free for limited access, right? And then maintenance, just like I mentioned, though, if you have on-premise device as a management, or even as a database or applications, there's updates, Microsoft updates. We all understand that's a very painful, tedious, and time-consuming. So the maintenance costs pretty much not to us at all. That's part of the cloud management, and they can do different region, different time zone. So the maintenance cost is really minimal to us. There's upgrades on the cloud. We don't even need to be worried about. Like I know you guys pretty much on IT for a long time. Same as me, that we always need to do the upgrade maintenance during the off hour, which is painful for us. And scalable is part of the cloud advantage. You benefit from the scalability. You can scale up, you can scale down. When you need more, it's very flexible. You can scale up, and you can also scale down if you need less. So that's all based on pay as you go. So you don't need to worry about the cost, the capital expense, just too much in there that you may not fully utilize them. And then Management also, they provide you the reports easy, very, very flexible. You can even customize your report whenever you want. And last point is pay as you go. That's really the key point of cloud. So if we look at a cloud, right, deployments very easy, the management's even easier, and management don't need to worry about they need to have specific device or specific time to look at the management report or those kind of things. You can access anytime you want. And from a user point of view, user doesn't even care when or how it was being updated or up to date with the OS or any updates. Before I jump into the FortiGate Cloud and FortiAP Cloud, I want to again stress the point of Security Fabric. Security Fabric is an essential architecture from Fortinet. It's besides Fortinet's own product, Fortinet has also Security Fabric partners. They certify to work with Fortinet's products. So Fortinet can cover very broad, very unique solution in the world. And also they integrated very well each of the Fortinet product as well as the certified product. They all integrated before they can be certified. And all those information flow between each of the Fortinet devices, Fortinet products, and also the security partners. They are automated. They have Fortinet provides API to help the partner to transfer the information, transfer the alert or any information that necessary to trigger the alert or mitigations. And then if you look at the solution that currently in the industry that really help you to protect, it's really, we consider end-to-end solutions, right? If a lot of a solution, a lot of products or even technologies just a point solution. So if you look at Fortinet's product, Fortinet's technology, it's really everything's is working end-to-end together as part of a security fabrics. And for the cloud security is part of it, part of the end-to-end solutions. During the TGIF, we talk about a few things already. Security fabric is definitely one of them, and we talk about FortiCloud, that's endpoint security. We will be talking. Well, today we're going to talk today, and last week we talked about FortiGate Cloud, FortiAP Cloud, as well as there's AWS, any public cloud solutions. Fortinet also have security provided on those, and in the future we'll definitely talk about any one of this within the security fabrics from end to end. Later on, we probably will talk more about the UTM or NGFW and enterprise security. We're going to talk more about even FortiMail, FortiWeb, and sandbox. All those things we'll eventually talk about during the TGIF. So FortiGate and FortiAP Cloud, basically, we talk about the management. So the management you can do from the cloud. You can manage your FortiGate, you can manage your AP from the cloud, and you can do configuration. You can do, you can look at their, we call FortiView. You can look at all the traffic going on, all this alert if there's any. And there's basically have a log view and report view. During the demo, I'll show you how to look at those, and then what the difference. If either it's a free license or free FortiCloud, or it's a paid subscription FortiCloud. There are some differences. So FortiGate Cloud again, and FortiAP Cloud is a part of the Fortinet's cloud management solutions that eventually will extend them all. So today we're going to talk about FortiGate and FortiAP Cloud. In the future, we definitely will have a chance to talk more about. I don't know you guys know about Extender. I talk a little bit later. And there's a FortiClient Cloud and there's a FortiSwitch Cloud. FortiExtender, many people may or may not know, is that if you have regular, let's say, fiber connection, let's say from Comcast or AT&T, then you might want to have, let's say, a backup link. So FortiExtender basically is a 3G, 4G, and maybe in the future, a 5G solution that you can use for backup. If for 5G, maybe you can use for, that's called SD-WAN. One of the topics we talked last couple of weeks ago. So you can use it for your WAN fell over, or you can use for backup. That's what FortiExtender is about. Again, today we're going to focus more on the FortiGate and FortiAP cloud. So there's a FortiGate cloud. Last week we talked about this. So there's a deployment you can use to deploy the FortiGate into the cloud, and you can manage them. You can manage them multiple FortiGate devices on the cloud, and can even configure them from the cloud, and you can look at reports, you can customize reports, and based on the cloud management, you can even do analysis. There's according to this report, there's 300,000 devices under the FortiCloud management. This is what we talked about earlier. There's a cloud, FortiCloud pay and free services. So the pay services basically give you log retention for over about a year, and also give you customization of the log retention and also reports. That's probably the most important thing. And the pay subscription, you can also do the management on the configurations. And of course, you can use a free. It's 1 week log retention. It's basically pretty good, and you will see that in the demo. So again, this is the different subscription is free and versus your pay subscription, right? So this is if you access FortiCloud.com, this is the screen you will see, and on the right-hand top right corner, you will see there's a login. If you click on login, you will see this. It's called Forti1. So Fortinet 1. So Fortinet 1 is basically, it's a new improved login session. Basically allow you to use Fortinet 1 to log into your support.fortinet.com. If you guys remember, there's a different login password for all different Fortinet portals. So support.fortinet.com and also FortiCloud using the same Fortinet 1 login. And later I'll show you this. So this is the FortiAP cloud key, right? It's in each of the FortiGate devices or Fortinet, FortiAP devices, you will see this. Then what you need to do is take a note of the FortiCloud key. You can see on the bottom, and that you can use that to add a FortiAP into your FortiAP cloud. The FortiGate can do the same thing, but I'll show you a little bit different way of doing this. Okay. Before I jump into the demo, I want to just share with you guys, if you're not already new, there's a Fortinet.com, there's Partner Portal. Partner Portal has a lot of different things. I don't know if you guys have seen that before. Let me probably just share with you a little bit more on that. So there's a Partner Portal. If you're not already new, there's plenty of information, just fill up the information in there. And I think very important for me is the training side, right? If you could go into the training under the Fortinet Partner Portal, you will have online training information here, and you can use them to do on your self-paced training. And if you want to go for the Nse certification 1, 2, 3, you can use this. The 4 and up, you probably will need to go to the either training center or do online training, while we can provide you more information if you're interested. I also have, let's say, this is a basic support portal. So it's a Fortinet.com, support.fortinet.com. And go in there. What you can do is you can manage your Fortinet devices, licenses. I have lots of them here. So you use your asset to manage them. You can also download firmware if you want, you can look at different products firmware. Of course, you need to have a license to activate them. But that's the way for you to, if you have a FortiGate, you can go download and download the current firmware to upgrade it. There's a FortiCloud.com. We're going to talk about this later. And there's a docs.fortinet.com. So basically, there's just tons of Fortinet information you can use, all the related to Fortinet products. And there's a video session even. So just full of information you can use. And I highly recommend them for you. And then there's a FortiGate.com and threatmap.fortigate.com. FortiGate.com is basically all the FortiGate, all the Fortinet security related information here. Again, I think it's very important for you to understand how FortiGate works. I'm not going to show you the threat map, but if you have time, you can go ahead, check out that website, and it's pretty interesting. If there's no more questions, I'm going to jump right into the demo. Anybody have questions so far? If not, I'm going back to the demo right away. Okay, so today I'm going to show you a couple of things. Once there's a FortiGate, so you have a FortiGate cloud. There's a FortiGate cloud, and then you have a FortiAP cloud. There's a FortiAP cloud. So what I can show you is let me log out. Okay. So this is the FortiGate cloud. Earlier you saw that in my slide. So what you need to do is just go ahead, click on FortiGate Cloud Login. Okay, I already have a login, so it's a 41 login, the same as your support.fortinet.com. I'll show you from the beginning to the end. Not a very deep, but at least give you some understanding. You can start using it, having fun, right? So in this FortiGate cloud, you can see that I have two FortiGate in there. One is my corp FortiGate. The other one is my demo FortiGate. It's 90D and 100E. So you can see that on the FortiGate 100E, there's a subscription, if you notice that, right? And then for the demo one, it says subscription expired. So that means for this FortiGate, I'm using a free FortiCloud license. But this 100E, I'm using pay for subscription. All right. So it's a difference. Later on, we can see that what difference that is. So let me give you a quick understanding how the FortiCloud works. So if I click on this, I don't know if you guys see this on the right up corner. There's you can see that I can click on FortiCloud, FortiAP. All this is provided by the FortiCloud. So because I'm already in the FortiGate, that's why you don't see that in here. You don't see FortiGate here, but there's quite a few things you can use the FortiCloud to manage, right? So if I go back to FortiCloud, FortiAP cloud, you can see there's a FortiGate here, right? Anyway. So anybody has any question, you stop me right away, and I'll try to see what I can do to help you out to understand better, right? I think this is great, and this is very useful. So let me show you the FortiGate first. So this is the one I show you. This is my corp FortiGate, right? And it's already activated. Even though it shows retention, it's free, but it's paid for, right? That's why over here, you can see that it's a subscription here. So this is 100D, and let me show you another one's 80D, which I show you why it's not activated. So over here, all you need to do is you want to activate, right? Then you can add into the FortiGate. So I'm going to type in my email address. password. Give me a second. Let me, I don't even remember my password, so give me a second. So this is my password. Go back to this. Okay. Right, you can see that it's being activated. So in my FortiCloud, right, over here, there's inventory, right? So let me see. Yeah, you can see that the FortiGate is here now, right? So I'm gonna go back to inventory. So that FortiGate 80 is being deployed, right? The 80 doesn't have, you can see that doesn't have a subscription, it's a free. But then, so if I go back to the 80D, you can see that's activated, right? So once it's activated, you have it, then you can see what's going on with that FortiGate, right? Of course, there's nothing here because that's my demo units. So I can go back to my home. And let me show you this, right? So this 100E definitely has a lot of data in there, right? So this, you can see that's very similar to what you will see on a FortiGate management portal. So FortiCloud's basically the same. You can see different things from FortiCloud. And then you can look at the logs. So if you look at my 100E, I just want to show you real quick. So this is a FortiGate. It's a hardware device, and it's a management portal. So I can do my log setting, right? I can use it to set it up to be my FortiCloud logs. So we'll collect all the FortiCloud logs here, right? And you can do a report. So if you look at this, right, this is a report. It's just a regular generic report. So I can add different report, but you can see that the difference here. So I can create blank report, or I can create different type of reports, right? So that's called customization. Why I have this? Because it's paid for, right? But if I look at another FortiGate, if I look at a 4880, FortiGate 80D, you can see the report. I have no option. So that's a free, right? Again, free, you can only use a generic report. You cannot use the customized report, right? So my 100E here, again, back to this, there's an event management, right? You can see what's going on. And then I can even use management to configure my FortiGate remotely, right? So this is what the FortiGate, similar to what you can see from the management portal. So there's a little bit different, but it's very similar. So all the major configurations, you can do it from the FortiGate cloud, FortiGate clouds. You can do all those information settings. Is there any question at all? Or anybody want to see something a little bit different? Right, if there's no more question, I'm just go ahead to talk about the FortiAP cloud, right? So like I mentioned to you guys, right? Let me bring up the slides again. So let me show you this, right? So you guys all see this, right? So this is a AP device I have, has a cloud key in there. So all I need to do is just look at this, right? So there's a deploy AP. I have two FortiCloud AP, all right? So one AP, well, I have two AP, sorry. I have two AP I want to deploy into the FortiCloud. So this is one of them's already deployed, right? This is one of them already deployed. So if I click on the deploy APs, it will say this is the one, right? And I don't have anything in the inventory, right? So if I go to the cloud, right, FortiAP cloud, so I can monitor this AP, right, and see what's going on with this AP. There's a basically the overview of this AP informations. You can see that there's currently have two client connect to it. There's a traffic flow. I don't really run too much traffic. This is for demo. All right, and you can see there's a client right now. It's actually only one connected. The other one probably in sleep mode. And I can see there's an access point, right? There's a sales office at one access point, and I can even configure the AP if I want, right? So I can look at a platform. I want to do some changing of the configuration. It's also very similar to what if you use the FortiGate as the AP's controller. It's very similar. So let me show you this real quick, right? So this is FortiGate, right? I can manage all the APs in there, right? And then you can see that the configuration itself is very similar to what you see from the AP Cloud, right? And you can also, there's a logs, and you can generate reports, different kinds of reports, right? And there's a PCI report, which is very good. A lot of companies take credit cards, so this information will be very important for them. Right. Let me show you how to deploy a new APs. So this is AP. So I want to add a new AP in there. Again, let me show you this. So this is the one I'm going to add in. So you can see that there's a FortiCloud key in there. So I'm going to type in the FortiCloud key here. JXV6SSKHH. So it sees that, well, of course, you need to make connection. So you can see that over here, it says you have one port, you connect to your one port to the, actually, essentially the internet, right? So you have that, you can, then the FortiCloud will detect, well, we'll see it. So then you can say, you want to go to the next one, right? Very easy to deploy, right? So just click next, and I can add it to the sales office. Right, admin access, I can turn on, let's say, just want to do this, right? So then deploy, right? Okay, so if I go back to here, and if I see the inventory, let me see, I should say deploy already, yeah. So I have deploy already, so two of them, all right? So this is deploy the AP, but you can also see that if I want to undeploy from external, I can also undeploy any AP if I want to, right? So this is the AP part of the cloud, right? And it's very easy to use, very easy to deploy. And essentially, to be honest with you, you don't really need to have a FortiGate to manage your AP. However, this is only for AP, so there's no really security in there. So that's why, if you have a small site, you want to deploy somewhere, just public access, you don't worry about security. Yeah, this will be the way to do. And I don't have a chance to show you guys another one's called FortiPresence. So FortiPresence actually is one, well, I haven't set it up yet, but if you have FortiPresence, you can actually deploy all the FortiAP, and even the one controlled by the FortiGate APs, you can also add into the FortiPresence and to show you overall AP coverage and the traffic among those APs, right? FortiPresence actually is pretty useful. Maybe I'll pick this one as another topic we can talk about for the FortiPresence. Again, AP doesn't have security, but easy to deploy for public access. I think it's very useful. And then for anything you want to have, I think the best is really have the security is with using the FortiGate as your controller. Then you can use the FortiGate to manage your traffic, AP traffic, right? just give you a quick example, right? The management, the security management part of it. So basically you can see that I have different setting as SSID for the Wi-Fi under my FortiGate. So I can have guests, I can have my own people use and you can control traffic or control the security profile, just like you do for any FortiGate devices control the traffic. Any question regarding the demo or anything you guys want to see more? Dana?
Yep, I'm here. Actually, we have some. We
Go
have
ahead.
a couple questions that Christian's been helping to answer.
Okay.
And actually, I'm going to read off. We have a great question. I'm going to call out James, and I'm just going to read off Christian's answer. So James' question was, what are some of the limitations with managing devices via FortiCloud? Are there certain functions that require you to log into the device directly? And Christian's answer is yes. With both FortiGate and APs, there are some things that have to be specifically done from the device directly or CLI, but almost every time is related to advanced features. For 99% of most used features, you will find that you can manipulate those via cloud, those setting via cloud management.
Yep.
So I thought that was a great question. Did you have anything maybe you wanted to add on to that, David, or is that pretty much cover it?
Yeah, something I want to add here is I didn't show you guys that you can see that, right? Under the FortiGate management, right? You can run script and you can create your own script, right? And then, so there's a couple of script. You can say this is a very simple script. Just if you guys already know CLI or the FortiGate, then this is what you can do, right? You can run script. You can certain times you say, hey, I want to see what's going on. You can go to script and run it, right? And you can see that over here, there's the upgrades. So you can upgrade the firmware if you want to. You can do backup. So like Christian mentioned, I would say probably, 99%, if not 98%, I don't know. A lot of things you can do, probably just daily operation, daily management, you can do from FortiGate Cloud without any problem. Yeah, same thing with the FortiAPs. But again, the major difference, the FortiAP Cloud means it's not really connect to the FortiGate as a controller. So there's essentially no security profile you can apply to those FortiAPs.
Awesome. And we had another question. Daniel was curious to what products you use for vulnerability testing. Christian was actually going to bounce that back to you, but I don't know if you're able to answer that.
Yeah, we have a vendor that we represent. It's called Picus. Let me show you this. Picus. I think called Picus Security or Picus Network. Hold on a sec. Give me a second, okay? I think it's called Picus Networks. Picus Securities. Sorry about that. Yeah. Hello. It's a little bit slow to load it up, but Picus is one of the. Is this the right one? Let me see. Hold on a sec. Yeah, it is. So it seems like I changed the logo. I didn't notice that. Yeah, it is. So it's a simulation of to check your vulnerability with your network, right? You can check different vulnerability on different OS or network nodes. Yeah. If you guys want to see the demo or you want to talk this further, let us know. We can arrange that.
I got another question here. James is asking, if the client has a Fortigate in place, is there any reason you would choose to use the FortiCloud to manage the WAPs instead of using the Fortigate as the AP controller?
Yeah, but if you have a FortiGate, you want managing them, I probably will say using the FortiGate Cloud for you or for them, for the customer, so they can access anytime, anywhere, right? But because FortiGate, you don't really want to allow to be accessed from outside. So you probably, most likely, you will not enable HTTPS or even SSH, right? Because you allow the port to open. So you probably use a FortiGate cloud to manage that FortiGate, but you need to be careful. Again, depends on who you give the access to. But for the AP part, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can use a FortiGate to manage it for the AP. But again, FortiGate clouds, I really think that's the best way for you to manage from anywhere outside of a company. Within the company, you can use HTTPS to access the FortiGate directly and check the AP status or manage the AP directly. Did I answer your question?
Sounds about right.
Okay.
I'm thinking let us know. I did have another question, and Joey, I'm sorry, you actually popped your question up a while ago. So he's asking, so between the FortiGate, FortiAP, and FortiSwitch cloud access, can someone configure and manage VLANs via the FortiGate cloud, assign switch port VLAN info via the FortiSwitch cloud, and configure SSIDs to use specific VLANs via FortiAP cloud?
FortiAP clouds doesn't really work with the switch at this moment. I don't know future development would be, but I don't know if Christian know the answer, or maybe Christian can fill it in. But if you see the FortiGate cloud, right? You can see that I can manage the AP in there, and you can set up VLAN if you want. So it's pretty much the same as you manage the FortiGate directly with the management portal. So that part's not, I don't think there will be any difference. But for the FortiAP cloud, it's really individual AP, right? So there's no connectivity, or there's no management directly with the switch at this moment. We do see there's a FortiSwitch cloud, right? I haven't seen that how to work yet. So maybe in the future development, there will be some connection, but I don't know. Christian, do you have anything you can add?
Sounds like a no.
He's probably muted.
Yeah. So guys, if you have any more questions, again, I'm going to put my email in the chat right now, and feel free to send me questions that maybe you think of later, and I'll be happy to bring in either David, Christian, or whoever the most appropriate player is to answer that question. We definitely welcome that. We don't have to end the discussion by the end of the webinar. We're more than happy to, answer your emails, but also we offer one-on-one discussions as well. So if you would like to have kind of more of a private session, or maybe for your team, we're more than happy to schedule and set something like that up so you get a little more one-on-one attention that way. Does that about cover everything, David, or do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, just again, feel free to contact us. We have Reed, Dana, me, or you can just email to support_US, and we'll get back to you soon. No, my target is really, hopefully within 5 to 10 minutes, we'll respond to your email or any email request.
Perfect. And like I had said before, I have an exit poll that I will be launching right now. If you can stick around for just a second to answer some of these questions, it'll kind of help us better develop our content and programming around what you guys are really looking for. So we'd love that feedback. But again, if you prefer to just shoot me an email, that's okay too. We're going to keep this open for a few more minutes as you guys are leaving, but feel free to pop in if you have any more questions.
Hey, David. Hey, Dana. Sorry, I was looking for my mute button there. Couldn't find it. But David is right. If you are going to be doing that much integration, you're better off to be doing that in the FortiGate. Hopefully, we'll soon have that integration soon within FortiCloud. They actually are doing quite a bit of improvements to FortiCloud, and a lot of that we are going to see within the first half of this year. Even more integration. So we have that single sign-on now called Fortinet 1 that allows you, that David was showing, that allows you to see when you click that little icon, you can see the switch, the APs, the FortiGate, FortiCASB, FortiToken, a lot of that. There's a good webinar if you guys want to even get a little bit more detailed. It's called It's a Cloudy World. It's in the Nse Insider Webinars. You guys will find that within the partner portal. Again, it's called Insider Webinars, and they're all just webinars that we do periodically, and then we record them. So you can download the slides directly or watch the video of them talking about some of these new features. But it does show kind of a roadmap of where we're going with FortiCloud and soon those features. So FortiClient should be coming soon as well. So just keep an eye on it, and hopefully they'll have most of this done by first half this year. But major integration between a switch, access point, looking at the different VLANs, you'll probably want to stick with managing that directly on the Fortigate. But yeah, those are my answers for that. Great demo, David. And if anyone else has any more questions, just send them there on the Q&A or in chat, and we'll get them answered for you.
And actually, Christian, thanks for bringing up that webinar. We actually sent that out, the link out last week for that. I'm going to do the same thing again for everyone today. I'll link that webinar along with today's recording, so you don't have to go digging for it. You can easily access it there. It's really great information. We encourage you guys to check it out. Well, everyone, thanks again so much for attending. We're really glad you could join us. We love doing these. Again, we welcome feedback so we can get better every time. Have a wonderful Friday. I'm going to go ahead and leave this up and running for a few more minutes as you guys drop off. But yeah, TGIF, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone.